This is Pat Naoum, the sole creator of the Master's Pupil, a hand-painted puzzle platforming video game. Now, let me reiterate, hand-painted, not digitally drawn on Procreate or Metabang or Adobe Illustrate. The guy didn't even open MS Paint. This crazy lunatic painted every asset, texture, and sprite by hand on real paper with real paint. And if that wasn't enough, the guy also taught himself to code in order to even develop the game. The combined process took him 7 years to finish the Master's Pupil. To put that into perspective, that makes this game almost as old as my channel. Awed by his dedication to the craft, I reached out to Naoum with an invite to join me for this video. I'm sure you can figure out the rest. Whoa, spooky.
What is happening?
I'm in a maze of green vines. I wonder where I could be. Now I know just from from some of your exposition in TikTok or Instagram, where I initially found you, this game is entirely based around the life and career of the French Impressionist painter Claude Monet. But I know that wasn't always the case. In fact, it wasn't even called the Master's Pupil at first. So would you like to discuss like maybe how you came up with the name the Master's Pupil, and also at what point you decided to base the game around his life and career?
Good question and good researching. I like it. Yeah, it's been this slow, long process of kind of adding ideas, because it wasn't based around Claude Monet at the start. It was, I saw these images of like a close-up iris of a human eye, and they looked kind of really fascinating, and they had this, it was like a landscape basically that's what it looked like to me. And so I thought a game in that would be fascinating basically.
Very much so.
That's what it started with.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to find someone whose eye it could be in, and like a little bit of a spoiler, Claude Monet had cataracts, so I thought the cataracts could be this like big bad for the end of the game, and then I could also set it around his life and his artwork, and kind of have this, painted world that would fit with that as well. So it's having these multiple ideas like tied together basically.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. Did Claude Monet's eyeball? Did cataracts include these like dark crystal burrito things?
I don't think so.
I kind of want to pet it. Oh crap.
It was this kind of weird thing, right? Where
don't pet the darkness burritos. Got it.
Yeah. Like, how many dark burritos do we have in the game? It's a question that all game developers ask themselves.
Now, I want to ask about the main character here, whose name is Iris, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Or that's the player character.
Sorry, you asked. I kind of skipped over that bit at the end because the game was going to be called Iris, and so it was set in an iris. The character was called Iris, and we had this kind of, it was all tied together. But another game had Iris as the game. And
I couldn't have that.
Yeah, and they had the handle at Iris, the game. And so I thought, well, and that was my hashtag very early on. But then they had this handle, and I was like, I asked them if they could use it, and they're like, no, we kind of got here first, man. So I just had to come up with another idea. And
cramp this
a mate of mine actually, and a mate of mine actually came up with the idea, the Master's Pupil. So that like double kind of pun about literally the pupil of an eye versus the master painter, and then teacher
way better
and
name.
student,
now that you've made that connection, and I've made that connection, way better name. Oh, and here we have one of Monet's paintings. So these are are these redrawings that you yourself made of Monet's paintings, or are these direct scans of his paintings?
Yeah, scans of his paintings. So
okay.
I kind of trawled the internet trying to find like the best images that I could use to kind of, and so especially like this one is one of his first paintings, one of the only ones that has been kept basically. I didn't want to repaint them because I wanted them to be left essentially exactly as they are. So there's a little bit of recreation on the edges to make it like a bit more interesting and make it fit better with the game.
Oh, you
basically,
know the mechanic I've been messing around with while you've been talking. It's like, ooh.
And making sure that those edges worked right. And then I recreated stuff behind it. So once I cut everything out, I would put some
because you would
background
have to...
so you can see that, if you look around there, you can see the extra sky and whatnot. So that kind of worked really well because it made sure that I could keep his paintings exactly the way that he painted them.
Yeah, maintain the.
Made sure that I didn't have to paint his artwork again because
Right.
I don't know if I could have done that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Repaint
having
all
already
these masks.
designed everything else, yeah.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I could see
And,
how
like
that
everything
might
else is hand painted, and that took forever. So
sniff
I'm
it.
glad I
There we
didn't
go.
have to repaint his one.
Now I need a red. You know what these are? These are the little like squiggly things that you get in your eye sometimes. Like you know,
Yeah.
if you've
Like,
had them
look up at the
closed for an
sky?
extended period, yeah, or if you look at the
Yeah,
sun,
yeah, yeah.
that's what those are.
Little squigglies.
Here we go.
Because people call them like yarn balls. People call them, like a ball of wool. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They're just like a. I originally actually I saw these images of like coral.
Uh-huh.
So they're like these balls of coral, and they had all these like forms in it, and it just looked like it kind of fit in this like world of like the biology of like an eye and like really microscopic kind of stuff going on. So yeah, that felt really right, and so I kind of used those as my like basics for the painting of those little squiggles. I think you named them actually, the eye squigglies. That works for me.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. As we've hammered home, every single asset in this game is completely hand painted by you. Like there are existing canvases
real paper.
and paper. But I
Yeah.
do have to ask: is there anything in this game that doesn't follow that? Is there anything in this game that isn't like this? These like little smoke clouds here.
Yeah, the smoke clouds, you're right. Because I actually tried to hand paint them at some point, but it looked too... Because you can't quite see it, but it's kind of hard to see because I've actively tried to hide it, but they're individual little smoke, like, shapes kind of thing that spiral really slowly. So it's a particle effect that is spitting out all these spiraling shapes.
Okay.
And so when I actually did try and recreate those with paint and scan those in and then put them in place, but it became much more obvious. And so I tried to, they're still originally images of smoke because I took these kind of pictures of like clouds and smoke and tried to like stitch it using those. So they're real images, but it's just not paint. Because I just tried, but it just looked not good.
Yeah, couldn't quite get the effect.
Like these ones. Yeah.
I can understand that. Hopefully that should do what it needs to do. There it bounces and blows right up to the door, and then I almost push it off. Naturally. Yeah, this is just wow. Like, with the knowledge had that all of this at some point you were sitting there making every stroke is wild to me.
I tried to make this game originally procedurally generated. I had like different forms of like these green levels that were kind of procedurally laid out. I in fact had a first person version of this game too, with like giant.
I saw that,
like,
yeah.
3D.
It was really weird
3D
looking.
kind of handmade. Not handmade. They were procedural, like giant vines that you ran along, and it was all like kind of first person. But
what is that?
it's just too hard to make a game like that.
Whoa.
It was fun.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna kind of fight the wind a little bit because I want to look at this. Wow. That is
the pupil,
really cool.
like
looking.
that's the pupil of the game.
It's Claude Monet's eyeball. That's a Master's Pupil reference.
That's the name of the game.
Wow. Sorry. Before you made the Master's Pupil, you went to a couple universities. You went to
Yep.
What was it, Wollongong, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And
so I went to, which is about an hour south of Sydney in Australia. And I did a Bachelor of Creative Arts, so I majored in painting. And then I went to film school, so I went to AFTRS, the Australian Film, Television, and Radio School, also in Sydney. So I came from art, and then I wanted to go into kind of film, and eventually I kind of came across games, because they have all the things that art and film have in them, movies and TV, like writing, directing, cinematography, and then animation and sculpture and all this kind of stuff. That's all in games. And at the end of the day, you get to play it. You get to sit here and actually decide
I never
where
thought about
and
it that
how
way.
you
That's
play the game.
That's a really interesting perspective. So kind of what I was getting to in bringing that up is this is really your first adventure in making a game. Like, you not only had to hand paint everything, or chose to, but you also had to more or less teach yourself programming. That is the case.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. And like I at uni I did a semester in coding, and I failed. Like, I wasn't good at it. Like, it wasn't something that I was skilled at. So I had to kind of when I decided that I wanted to make a game, and I realized that I probably had to make it by myself, I thought, well, I need to kind of learn how to code. Actually put the effort in and learn how to do it. So a lot of tutorials, a lot of Unity tutorials online. I downloaded the
right. This is all Unity.
The yellow C sharp. Yeah. And I downloaded the C sharp yellow book, which is like a textbook that a guy made and kind of give it out for free. So I downloaded that, and then just started slogging away learning how to code. It took ages, man. It's a difficult thing.
Yeah,
especially coming from like art making, like it's so one-to-one. Like, painting something is like there's paint on your brush and you put it on the canvas and then there it is. But coding is like a whole different world. You do something over here and then over here something else changes. It's like in time.
Yeah, it's kind of like
not even visual sometimes.
It's kind of like you paint something blue. You go back and you say, maybe I want to use a pencil for this one part. You go to the right side, add your little pencil strokes. You come back, your blue stroke is now green.
yeah, and you're like, great, thank you, computer.
I gotta say, I did my own research a little bit as far as like some of Claude's work, but so far I don't know what any of these are.
yeah. Especially because like we said, it follows his life.
Right, so these are some of his earlier paintings that you wouldn't necessarily...
Yeah, and much less well known, and so I was... Yeah, I kind of went through a lot of his paintings and kind of pulled them all into like a timeline, basically, and was trying to like lay them out one at a time, because, like his famous ones, his water lilies, or like his haystacks, or like, that shot of the Japanese bridge, those... those...
I'm gonna try and guess this. I'm gonna try and guess the name of this painting, because from what I did research, a lot of these are like the names are very literal, right?
Yes.
Like if he were to paint like there's like a bridge that he's painted several times, blanking on the name.
And they're literally called like bridge over a water lily pond, or and it's usually like
sunrise
place,
effect,
like meadow
or fog effect,
and then it'd be like, so this one I guarantee is probably something like bread and butter on a table, or, wine and bread. Like, they were always like this. But they were usually sometimes...
tonight's
like,
dinner.
Yes. Not even as poetic as that. It's usually just like, a meadow at such and such place. So, yeah. It to be kind of very, very basic.
A lot of paintings were like that back in the day, though, because you didn't have a lot of paintings were very, because you couldn't take photographs, so a lot of what people tried to do was realism.
Yeah, and recreate things.
Before the time of Monet, of course.
Yeah, and well, that was part of like his appeal, and part of what made him so different is that he was on the edge of when people started dealing with, they started dealing with realism and wanting everything to be real, and then Monet came along and he started making things slightly more abstract, making his paint a little bit less blended, and started using the paintbrush as a tool in the artwork, and like those paint strokes, it's what made him kind of different, and
I see.
Started abstract kind of painting, really.
Do you think it would be possible that this hand-painted art style becomes sort of like your calling card or your signature? Like, if I were to show you a Pat Naoum game, any old person on the street would be just like, oh, that's that hand-painted art style that I know. Would you consider doing it again? Maybe not like at the level of authenticity that you have here. Maybe you cheat and go digital, but...
Well, I don't know, because this game was made, like I was saying before, there was these kind of different layers that kind of made and built this game, and made it kind of, what it is, you know. Being about Claude Monet, being in an eye, being painted, these things kind of all work together. You know, I've joked about making a sequel about like Van Gogh, who like, you know, set it inside his ear because he famously cut off his ear, you know, and he was very similar to Monet, but, or like having, you know, Frida Kahlo, she's the one with the monobrow, have it set on her monobrow, that kind of thing. But they were all kind of gags because I don't know if I could actually make a game, paint a game again. I don't know if my wrist could actually, my hand could take it. But I really do want to move into other spaces. I want to go, you know, make a 3D game. I want to work in that kind of much more sandbox, open world style of game, because for me it's about making the game itself work really well and making those layers of the game work together in that way, you know. Because it's more about the game than about the style. And if you can make a style work for your game and make it work as part of that.
It just got really ominous. I'm sorry, I didn't have anything to add. What is that shaking? Is that you, Burrito? So there's nothing down there.
Only death.
In case you didn't know, Mr. Guy who made the game, there's nothing down there. Trust me, I checked. I am figuring out your little game, Pat. You can't outsmart me. Well, maybe you can. I'm saying that maybe 20 minutes in.
They came in. They saw you. They wanted to be involved.
It's ominous now. I gotta say, I really like the music so far. Should I be going away from the dark? Uh-oh.
Spooky in there.
Very spooky. It's tough to see. Okay, whoa. I mean, I could try going the other way.
Left? In a platformer?
In a platform?
It's unheard of.
It's unheard of. I'm gonna do
It's
it.
so crazy.
Okay, so we figured it out. Don't go left in a platformer. Okay, maybe I'm saying this as a internet funny man, but I feel like there was a missed opportunity to make the cataracts a cat.
Look, you know, there's still time. I could repaint this.
No, don't do that.
Look,
to
I had
yourself.
this suggestion from this dude, and I thought,
So, congratulations! The big spider you fight at the end is now a cat. Congratulations. Literally only one person asked for this. Come on, you silly cataract fool. Ugh. Take this. Oh, I see. You have a body. I'm going to invade you.
I'm going to invade you.
I mean, that's just the reasonable thing to do when you see a large alien creature with a hollow body.
Yeah, it has a hole that you can climb into.
I'll be honest, I was not expecting to get to this point. Like, when I said I would play like the first chapter, I thought it would take me like at least. Maybe that's because I'm smart and I've been figuring out the puzzles, but yeah, that's why, Xander. Come on.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Sure.
No, but like, this is level 3, and there's 12 levels altogether. So, this isn't the cataract. This isn't the big bad. This is.
Oh, I see. This is his little minion.
Yes, this is his minion.
This cataracts guy thinks he's too good for me. Oh, uh-oh. Did I, like, cripple him? What did I just do? Okay. Okay.
I think the moment of giving up is just like, okay, I can't do that.
I can't be cool with it. I gotta be regular with it.
What? Oh.
Oh.
That was a good maneuver.
I did it.
The ball's like, can I come?
Yeah, alright, here. Come on, Squigglies, let's go on an adventure. There we go. Come with me. Oh, okay. Wait, you can't come with me. You don't have the hops that I do. Made it out of the first little dungeon area. I did. I love the little like happy hands.
That's probably a pretty good place to leave it. That's the demo, really. That's the whole demo. You can get it free. People listening, you can get that free. That whole section on Steam.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I admit I didn't play the demo. I wanted to go
Get
into
right
it
into the
as.
full.
Oh, that's a cool transition. Using the smoke to push me out into the one of his many boat paintings. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Naoum. This has been a massive honor having you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
to-
It's been fun.
to
It's actually really
discuss the
cool because
game.
I've played through with I've like followed along with someone on Discord a couple of times. No, Discord. Sorry, on Twitch a couple of times. But it was only like dropping in and out, and I can't talk to them as I go. So it was interesting. It was really cool being able to like play along with someone. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a step down from your mother, but. Well, okay, wait, I didn't. You know what I'm talking about. You played the. That wasn't your mom joke, I promise.
Just throwing mum shade at me. Out of blue, man. I thought we had a moment. I thought we were
This
playing
is
this
so
game.
unprofessional.
No, I understood. For the people listening at home playing along,
He
I
played
did
the
the game
Master's
with my
Pupil with his own mom. I'm not.
I played it along. Yeah.
So yeah,
man.
absolutely. If you guys want to get the game for yourself, it's available for
PC and Mac
PC,
on
Mac,
Steam.
and Nintendo Switch. It is
Yes,
available
and
on
on
Nintendo Switch as well.
Yep.
For
And
now I'm blanking on how much it was. It's $20.
it's $15 bucks.
It's 15.
15
Okay.
on 15 USD. So whatever that means around the world. So because it's no language,
Absolutely, yeah.
anyone can play it. So yeah, it's on PC, Mac, and Switch.
If you at home watching the channel want to see a part 2 of the Master's Pupil, because honestly I might just make the part 2 anyway, but if we could get 20 likes on this video, I will make a part 2. I might just make a part 2 anyway, but I'll release part 2. I'm gonna play this game whether you like it or not. Because holy crap, am I impressed at the level of like work that went into this. Holy. Is there anything you'd like to, give a shout out to, promote? Maybe you got another
Just
game
the
in
game.
hand painting?
Go experience the game. Join the, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Naoum Games. I'm sure you'll put the thing down the bottom. And, join the Discord as well. There's a Discord where we're there chatting about different stuff. And,
You didn't invite me.
I'm kind of... How dare you? So all those links, everything that you want to find basically is at themasterspupil.com. There's a whole bunch of info up on there.
Awesome.
And say hi and play the game.